complying with a resignation request. Recently our OG manager, who was fantastic, just left. One of the biggest things he did for our team was to keep the higher-ups from meddling in our day-to-day lives. As long as we hit our targets, we could pretty much do as we please. Want to work from home 4 days a week? No stress. Want to go out on the road and meet clients face-to-face instead of meeting over Zoom/phone? Be his guest. Feel like closing all your deals at 2 AM every night and not logging on until 3 PM the next day? Why not? Basically, do whatever, let him know, and hit the targets. It was all cool by him. You get the drift. Because of this, our team works our asses off and constantly hit targets. With myself and a few others doing so well, we recently got promoted. Personally, I got the 2-week job to work with new manager, show him the ropes, train the new staff, etc. However, OG manager leaves as he can't take the stress from the higher-ups breathing down his neck about his management style. Even though we constantly make/exceed targets, they are unhappy as he is not doing it through their formula. About a week or so after OG manager leaves, the new manager and pretty much another sales team are hired. New manager is essentially just a yes man for the higher-ups. Our super awesome workspace goes downhill. We are required to be in the office 5 days a week 9 to 5, given a set seating plan, and spend our time cold calling, not relationship building. We do this for a few weeks. The older reps who worked for OG manager aren't having the best time, as not only are we now dealing with this shocking environment, plus, we have to train new staff, and the new manager, on the systems, the product, meaning we really have no time to sell. Then we have a meeting. New manager starts going on about the importance of the new system, as it will increase sales, which in turn will increase our commission. Now we get to the good part. The head office lady came down for this meeting. She doesn't have much day-to-day in the sales stuff. She is quiet until the end when she pipes up, saying how this company has room for growth, is willing to promote internally, uses me, and points out me and some of the older sales reps as examples. She then goes on to ask for the resignation of anyone who doesn't believe her way will work by 5 PM the next day. Me and the other sales reps who were there with OG manager simply comply with her request and hand our notice periods in at the end of the next day, leaving the company with a sales team that consists of a manager that doesn't know anything about the product or role, and a totally fresh team of newbie starters who have no idea what they are doing, who will not get anywhere near the target for a long time. Edit. So, I didn't expect this to get any traction. I very rarely post on Reddit. I was just posting to get it off my chest one last time so I wouldn't bother family/friends with all this nonsense. So, there's stuff I should have added. 1. After I put in my notice, new manager called me and asked why I was leaving. That he was disappointed as he wanted to learn about the ins and outs of selling the product from me. My response was along the lines of, as was clearly stated in the meeting, I do not believe in this structure, so as per your request I handed in my resignation. That felt really good. He then asked me to reconsider. Offered to allow me to have privileges like WFH, flexible hours, road trips, another pay rise. I think they realized how much of a clusterfuck it was going to be when no one knows what they're doing. I declined this offer as I don't want to work in a place like this. I again said no, as I don't want to be above anyone else in the team. Working in teams with preferential treatment never does well. 2. Yes, I know that this was most likely a plan by management to get some old staff to leave. But I'm in my mid-20s, no dependents, and had another job lined up. This isn't a position I have to be in, it was one I was in because I enjoyed my team and the environment I was in. It's not a situation where I simply must be there. So, no point staying somewhere shit for the sake of it, plus the look on their faces was classic. And being able to answer the question of why I resigned with as per your request was awesome. 3. During my notice period, new manager and head office lady were obviously very pissed. They asked me to transfer my leads, which I did, but didn't ask another thing or say anything to me for the remainder of my time. This job is also salary plus commission, so I very happily sat in the corner, took my last few weeks of salary and watched video essays and did life admin for the entire time I was required to be there. On my last day, no one said a single thing to me. So I handed my equipment to HR, just dipped on out without so much as a goodbye from either of them. Now to the comments. You're all hitting your numbers? Yes. Okay, let's change everything. Idiots. Recently learned about the Chesterton's fence theorem. The abstract is that, before you tear down a fence, you learn why it was put there in the first place. Or like we say in engineering, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Oh ducking hell, that was my life at my last job. We made a good amount of money. We got a new VP who wanted to make more money, so she threw out everything and started from scratch. We all gave it a chance. We brought in new people and consultants. They helped come up with a strategy. As we approached each issue, we came up with options, did investigations, and picked the best path. We did that over and over. We did save some money by introducing new tools and found some efficiencies that saved some money / made more money, but largely we rebuilt what we had because it was the best way to do what we did. She saw it and threw it out again and said come up with something different, so we went back and made different choices. We ended up spending more to make less money. We had a $200 million business, made it into about a $225 million business, then she tore it down and now it's a $75 million business. She then goes on to ask for the resignation of anyone who doesn't believe her way will work by 5 p.m. the next day. When you hear something like this, it's because they've decided that their existing team are acceptable casualties in the campaign to enforce the new system. She got what she wanted. They'll accept lower productivity due to inexperience because the new people won't be able to stand up for themselves. It's all about preserving the hierarchy. The newbies don't have tenure, experience and sales to back up their claims of how they work and the benefit of it. They likely are on less pay starting out than the expensive older crew, less favorable packages, benefits and commissions. Short term, the company just saved themselves a huge amount of money and reduced long-term expenses. Ops team built relationships. The new crew will be given a script to follow and an endless cold calling list. Just like spam, wide coverage, low hit rate but still turns a profit, and those staff will get better over time. If not, churn is a thing that's just accepted in cold calling jobs. I am on the tail end of a company essentially chasing off their experienced sales team about 6 years ago. It's been a revolving door of sales managers and sales associates in a highly technical market. Almost everyone who gets hired flees less than a year later. The challenge is that all the problems that a completely mismanaged sales team causes are not immediately obvious, and hand-waved away by bad management. We still have long-term customers, and our products are well known enough that some customers will seek us out on their own. So there's still some new business coming in. But competitors are absolutely taking big cuts away. New growth isn't where it should be, and long-term customers are getting angrier and angrier. It's frustrating watching a great company become a mediocre one, and the people responsible honestly believe they are doing a great job, while actively destroying it. When I was in high school, I worked for a fast food chain. My English grade was dropping, so I told the manager I needed to be off work by 8 p.m. for 2 weeks so I could catch up and work on a research paper that was going to be 20% of my grade. Manager said no problem. Mind you, this was in a shopping mall and it was Christmas season, so we were busy all the time. But my manager understood school came first. But then the owner found out and cornered me one night, yelling at me for leaving when they were busy. Told me if this place and my paycheck weren't my #1 priority, I might as well just leave and not come back. Okay. Bye. I was 17 and working for gas and makeup money. No, my paycheck was not my #1 priority. The owner's shocked Pikachu face as I handed her my apron and walked out will forever live in my happy memory bank. If this place and my paycheck weren't my #1 priority, there aren't many jobs that should be someone's #1 priority. If you have a boss, the job shouldn't be #1 because it means you're only working to make someone else money. Unless you are the lead husky, the view is always the same. Sounds like what my office is going through. We've been hemorrhaging experienced staff left and right, went through the roughest spring commission season, boat repair, I've seen in the 15 years I've been there, and the new higher-up keeps repeating that we are all replaceable. Just going to sit over here and keep spamming out applications. My BF's company decided 5 years ago to trim the fat. The fat in this case being the experienced sales department and RD. Their industry has moved to a new standard, but they still use the old process. He was one of a 2-person team responsible just for configuring new equipment for installations and regularly worked overtime. Now he's a 1-man team who they have so little work for they have him answering technical calls for 95% of his day. They went from selling dozens of units for massive new installs to only selling replacement equipment for systems with 1 to 2 broken units that don't make it worth upgrading everything, and for a handful of very small jobs if the tech is old school and knows the old system. Even the tech support calls are getting more and more from techs who have never seen this style of equipment. He's been casually looking for a new job, and I've told him he needs to look harder because the writing is on the wall and that company is going under very soon. Not only that, supporting legacy equipment is like losing experience. Having an expert on the old stuff is nice when it's 30 to 50%, but useless when the old stuff is just there until it breaks.